and welcome back to another episode of the Champion Corner. Woo, woo, woo! Woo, woo, woo! Yay! My name is Miriam Kim, and I am the owner and vocal coach for Go for the Gold Vocal Academy. I will be your host as we delve into the karaoke circuit, the what, the who's, the whens, and the key players in them. So please make sure to like and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Go for the Gold VC. Yes. Right about there. Yes, make sure you put in the spaces so you can find us. And of course, if you want to be featured, if you like what you see today and you want to be featured on a future show, please email goforthegoldvc@gmail.com, or you can message me at either Facebook or Instagram by looking that up. There you go. Bam. Yes. So we have an awesome show for you today. Awesome show. Lots of karaoke news happening with the 2021 competition season coming around now. A lot of major competitions are gearing up and they are getting started. Just like in my previous show, we know that the Karaoke World Championships USA have started their qualifying rounds. And yes, the invitationals that was open for previous finalists from previous years, that has ended, that's concluded. And so the judges are working hard to get those scores in for this awesome show that's about to happen. I believe the launch date is March 14th is when it will launch, our very, very first show, right? Qualifier, the open round, the first open round for all of the viewers out there, for all of your friends, family who you think you can sing, who have the X factor, who's got the oomph, who's got the little something, get them in, okay? Tell them about this competition, Karaoke World Championships USA. Okay, their open round has started. This will go on from, well, it started on March 1st and it's going on until March 14th when the first qualifying round will end. And then the next one will start. So there are a total, and that's including invitationals, there's a total of 10 qualifiers. So if you want to see what the scheduling looks like, please visit kwcusa.com. Okay, there's a nice little flow chart on there for you, and you can see which dates the qualifiers are for. They also have genre rounds, you guys. So there are 3 genre qualifying rounds, and that includes rock and blues, R&B and hip hop, and country. So look for those genre rounds. If you are those type of people who really kind of have a niche, those are definitely the qualifying rounds you want to be a part of. The judging for that will be judges who are actually well-versed in that particular genre. So if you feel like you were kind of underrepresented, those are the rounds you want to go for. Keep in mind that for every qualifying round, the top 3 singers will be then moving on to the divisional rounds in their respective divisions. So if you won first, you'd be in the gold division. If you got second, you'd be in the silver division. If you got third, you will be in the bronze division. And then once you get to divisionals, you'll be facing off with your division. Okay, so bronzes will be against bronzes, silvers against silvers, golds against golds. The top 3 from there, from each division, will then move on to the Nationals training program. And then those who place 4th through 7th, who might have just missed it by a margin, okay? 4th through 7th will then be moved into a blue ribbon round. And it's kind of a Hail Mary round, realistically. And the top 3 from there will then go on to the national training program for a total of 12 national training program contestants. I was like, I just lost my words. So you want to make sure you get into that, okay? You're going to want to work on your videos. Make sure there are rules for the videos as well. We want it to be just one shot, so no multiple camera angle stuff. Okay, it's just nice one shot. Make sure you're center framed. Make sure the audio and the video quality is really nice, or at the best that you can make it. And you guys, if you need tips and tricks on how to make a better video, there are memberships, and we're gonna put those tips on there for you guys. Or you can just go ahead and message yours truly. I can help you out as well. So that's it for KWC for right now. Let's move on to another competition called Talent Quest. And Talent Quest has opened their qualifying rounds, and it's actually starting in Florida. So for those of you who Floridians, okay, if you want to go ahead and participate in Talent Quest, make sure that you go to Mickey Finn's Irish Pub in Claremont, Florida. Each Sunday, they're starting this Sunday. This Sunday is when you want to go, okay? Each Sunday, you want to register before the karaoke show starts at 7 p.m. So you want to get there beforehand, register, and make sure that you get your songs in and ready to go, okay? So that'll go from March 7th to April 11th, and then they're going to have their finals on April 18th. Another venue who will also be doing qualifiers later on is Sunday's Grill in Davenport, Florida, and they are going to start their qualifiers on April 16th through May 21st. So if you want more information about Talent Quest, you go to talentquest.org, okay, for more information. So a lot of information there, right? A lot of things going on. Like I said, I'm gonna try and keep you guys updated the best I can, but I want to introduce someone who has been in both competitions and been in other competitions such as World Karaoke Tour, such as I Sing. She is an incredible, to me, she is the best rock star I have ever met. When you see her on stage, she lights it up. She is electric. She has it on fire. I want to introduce my dear friend, the I Sing 2019 World Champion, Beth Brennan. Woo!
Hey! Hi, Miriam.
Hello, hello.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you too. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm done with a day of work. We're gonna do this, and then I'm going to an open mic night to work on my craft.
That's right. See, I tell you, people, she's never stopping. You know, she's definitely the epitome of a champion and that champion mindset, and I love her for it so much. So, Beth, for our viewers who do not know who you are,
yes,
could you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what you do for your day job? Like, what is your occupation?
Sure. My name is Beth Brennan. I live here in suburban Minneapolis, Minnesota, where it's in the 40s right now, which is really warm for us. My day job is actually a corporate job. I'm the senior director of marketing for Concur Technologies, which is a software company that sells travel and expense software, invoicing software, that sort of thing. So I do PowerPoints. I sit on conference calls. That's kind of my main gig. And then I'm also in a band here, and we are starting to play shows again here in Minneapolis. And it's called Sugar Buzz, and it's what we call party rock. That's kind of, in fact, I think I got a poster back there.
Oh, yeah, there you go. See?
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Please, guys, go check out Sugar Buzz if you are in the Minneapolis area, because I'll tell you what, I've seen videos. I live in California, so I don't have the luxury to go see her live, but I do see videos, and I'll tell you what, it is a rocking good time. Okay.
It is a rocking good time. I will tell you that. I've broken my record. I have a Fitbit I got for Christmas. My record right now is 33,123 steps in one 24-hour period, which is about 16.1 miles. And I wasn't even like, I did a little bit of working out, and I did a show that night. And it was 33,000, like 11:59 p.m. I took a picture of my Fitbit because that's my new record.
Wow. See, and that is a testament to how much she moves on stage. I mean, that's insane.
It is
That's how you
insane.
stay so fit. You look
I
amazing.
thank you, thank you. Well, I tell people too. They'll say, "Oh, I guess you don't have to work out because you do this in the shows." And I said, "No, I work out so I can do this in the show, so I can have endurance, right?
That's right.
Both physically and vocally, especially if you're moving around, you have to breathe different, right? You have to do a lot of things differently and work at that."
See, and I just aspire to be you.
No,
Because
there's enough of that.
I cannot move around as much as you do on stage and still maintain breath control. That's just not. Yeah, maybe because I'm not an active person. That's probably why I pick really, really slow songs, because I don't have to move on stage. you know. So Beth, you say you're in a band, Sugar
Mhm.
Buzz. Okay, so who are your musical inspirations?
As anybody who knows, the kinds of songs I choose for competition and band are a little bit different from each other. So I have a very wide range. This is everything from my queen, Celine Dion, which I love her to death. I got a chance to see her in Vegas. She's just as amazing in person and just as dorky. And I aspire to that. I love her dorkiness. I love that. But I also love heavy rock, musically. Ann Wilson of Heart is a vocal inspiration. Lizzie Hale of Hailstorm has an
Yeah.
insane vocal range. And I just, the music that I like is quite varied. I'm following a band called Ghost right now, which is like Swedish pop metal. So it kind of varies on mood. And I'm a Minneapolis gal, so Prince, of course, is near and dear to my heart.
Wow. Yeah, funny story. I actually sang Hailstorm at Worlds in
I
2014.
miss the misery. Yep.
Yeah. I was not ready for that. That was not a song I was ready for. I learned that day that I should just stay away from stuff like that.
But you know what? There's this is a thing that a lot of singers struggle with, because you try and find multiple paths to which
Mm-hmm.
that you excel, and I think it's also fun to experiment a little bit.
Oh yeah.
So I give you
Obviously.
great kudos, especially going, screw it, I'm doing this at Worlds, man. I'm doing this at Worlds.
I love that song. I
Yeah.
really dig it. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. But it's like, sometimes, and that's a totally different topic. Obviously we want to be talking about you, but it really is. It comes down to like, there are songs you can really vibe with, but you probably are not suited to sing them. Just enjoy them. That's it.
Just
And I
enjoy
learned
them.
that. Yeah, just enjoy them for what it is. And Hailstorm it's one of those groups that I really enjoy listening to. I personally can't pull it off. I'm pretty sure you can, though. You can probably slay a bit as Hailstorm. And I'm going
I
to
love
challenge
me
you.
some Hailstorm. We did the
Please sing
band.
that.
Oh, the band. I actually know off their second album, Break In, which is a rock ballad, which is an amazing, amazing song. But man, and I try and keep it in the original key because I really want to challenge myself to learn it
Mm-hmm.
and try and stay in my belt or belt mix as much as
Mm-hmm.
possible. So it takes extra training, but getting back to I like a good challenge.
Oh,
Song
yeah.
I'm singing right now with the band, and they surprised me with it because I started singing it at open mic night because a high school boyfriend said, has your band ever done this song? And it's a song by Steelheart called I'll Never Let You Go.
Yeah.
It's a rock ballad, and Millie Medichenko is the lead singer, and his range is like female high, like crazy. And I thought, can we do this? And no other band in the metro area covers it because it is super complicated. So I'm like, well, I'm going to work and work and work on this. And I don't get it perfect every time because I'm usually singing, 40 something odd songs a night, but I love a good challenge and I vibe with that song so hard and the crowd vibes with it so hard. So you just can't help but sort of be swept up in it, even though I don't get it perfect every time.
So what you're saying is we might be able to see you sing that one of these days for one of the contests that we're coming up.
Maybe it's what's hard about video competition is I'm not sure. And this is just a topic. Like if we had like 15 people in here, it would be a good group forum to go, how well do really big songs translate on a single screen video versus a stage where there's an audience and there's booming acoustics and all of that? And I'm still trying to find a rhythm there on video competition in particular. I think I was starting to find a rhythm in the in-person, but the video is a different animal. It's a different animal. So I don't know if that would work there or not. It's a good.
If you need someone to screen it,
Okay.
I'm always down to screen some stuff and like give you some pointers and be like, this will help to like really jazz it up more or give that energy through the screen. So if you need someone to like,
oh yeah, I'll have
give you some feedback. I got you.
Careful what you wish for.
Look, I'm saying, bring it to me. I'll help you. So when did you actually, because you're singing in a band, right? So when did you actually start karaoke?
It was off and on, so it wasn't consistent. I think I went to Talent Quest in like 2010, 2011, in there, and then I did it one more year, and then I did right after you did. Remember the World Series of Karaoke in Vegas?
Yes.
You won it in 2014, and I was 2015, I believe.
Yes.
So I was kind of off and on it, and then KWC, I think 2015, I started that year as well. I'm competitive. I used to apologize for it. I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm competitive.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize.
It's
innate in all of us, really.
It is innate. So, I started doing that, and it's kind of hard with my schedule because up until last year, I would travel a lot for business and whatever. So I did like being able to submit videos and then come to a place and say, I'm going to take work off here and then compete. With videos, it's become a little bit more difficult to try and gel a schedule and practice and all of that. But I'm still competitive. So here and there, I'm still going to compete because it's fun. And I still want to work on my craft. I'm not going to tell y'all how old I am, but I'm old. And
she's 21.
I'm 21. I still want to practice up enough to be at the top of my vocal game. I still feel like I can hit the notes or even exceed the notes that I could hit when I was much younger. And I realize that it comes from still working at it and still practicing and performing and all of that and competing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay. So you and I, we're both very competitive people. So why? Well, actually, let's start with this one. You had mentioned that you did Talent Quest in 2010. Yes. Was that your first karaoke competition ever?
2009, I think. I did some regional ones that didn't have any national implications. So I would do little ones at fairs and stuff like that. So I'd say I'd been doing those since, I think my very, very first one, I don't even remember. Not on the national level, I would say 2010 was my first one. Let's put it that way. I did little ones, like the county fair.
Right. I mean, we do those. I remember going to a strawberry festival and winning a small one like that,
Yeah.
Cool. What actually motivated you to enter Talent Quest? Or any of these competitions?
Yeah. There was a regional one in Minnesota at the time, and I'd never heard of a national one. And I thought, well, I'll drive the hour and whatever up to Monticello, I think it was at that time, to enter. So I think it was the national implications going, I could go to Vegas or Laughlin or whatever. So I think it was that. And being competitive, you just want to know, can you hang with the big dogs? Yeah, I can do a county fair, but am I good enough to I guess earn respect in a larger venue?
So it was just trying to feel out for yourself if you can do it or not.
Yeah.
Cool.
And of course, nerves, it's a totally different thing. National, when you got a panel there and all of that, like that's a totally different vibe than performing with my band, because there's nobody there writing stuff down. I mean, if they are, I still get to come back to the venue. It doesn't matter if they, it's hard because you have to be sort of liked. And that's a hard thing to put yourself up for, right?
Right.
You could say, well, I don't care if anybody likes me, but you're in a competition, so actually you kind of do. You know, you kind of do. You kind of relying on somebody to like the product that you're putting out, right?
Right. Oh my goodness. I love competitions. And I the reason I'm not really speaking much is because I want to hear what you think, you know?
Yeah.
So other than, you know, testing your skill sets, what are some of the other things that motivate you to enter competitions? And be truthful.
Yeah. I like trophies. Is that selfish? I don't care about money. I like trophies. I like pieces of, even if it's a stupid piece, I'm like, if it's like this, hey Beth, you get this thumb drive with your name on it because you won. I'd be like, yeah, that's going on my trophy thing. Yeah, I like trophies.
I'm digging this so much. I mean,
like I got this from work. This is like the light bulb award. What is this? The marketing true grit thing. And I'm like, yeah, I like trophies.
I love
I'm
trophies.
easy to please. I'm totally easy to please. But I mean, you know, so that's, I mean, if you wanted me to be honest, that's like,
yeah, no, I'm genuinely, yeah.
I like meeting people. That's
Mm-hmm.
the video thing that hurts for me because I do like interacting with the people that I get to see year after year. So I like that. Internationally, when I was in Sweden, there were people from India and Singapore and Malaysia and Sweden and Australia and all these other countries, Greece. Meeting them was really fascinating, and talking to people who where English is not their first language, I think is awesome. And the best part of the competition was the second round. Everybody had to do a song in their native tongue.
That's cool.
It was so cool to watch somebody sing in pardon me for Hindi or a Russian, you know, or French. I mean, got to hear all of it, and I thought it was such a cool learning experience. So I think the travel. I was very bummed when they canceled Malaysia for icing 2020. So and 2021. So I'm hoping, because I've never been to Malaysia, so I would love to. They got monkeys there. I would like to touch the monkeys there. They have macaques. I've studied this. I really want to go see the monkeys.
I'm laughing my makeup off. Oh my gosh. You are hilarious.
There's the Batu caves, and it's like this cool Buddhist temple thing with all these stairs. And then there are these monkeys that are just feral out there.
Oh.
And I'm like,
you've already done your research. You're like, okay, I was planning on going here, so I knew exactly where I was gonna hit up, and I was gonna go, and then they canceled it, and I was like, sad face.
Now I'm sad face. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you enjoy? What? I'm just like, what?
I'm sorry. I get to a weird place.
Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure our viewers are cracking up too, because that's just, you're awesome. So what is it about singing that you enjoy so much?
Getting it out, whatever it is in here, getting it out there. It's expression. I say in a band performance, and we had a really large crowd a couple of years ago. It was thousands. I mean, it was at a festival, and I said into the microphone, I said, my worst day of doing this is probably better than the best day I have doing just about anything else.
That is awesome. That just struck a chord in my heart right now. Like, oh, see, you just live for because I know that you live for music, but I wanted to know why you do it. You know,
I really, it's funny. The song "Never Enough," and I know a million people have done this song, right? It's a beautiful song. It resonates with me because I imagine myself standing on the stage at that moment, at that festival, in front of thousands of people who are banging the stage, asking us to play, banging the stage. And there's that sense of anticipation, the moments before the lights go live and the sound guy says, you're on. That moment. where it just all turns, and I just feel it in me right now, and that's the feeling. I don't even know why bands or people got hooked on drugs, because I will tell you, the rush of a performance is, and the response of the live humans is better than any rush I could imagine on any drink or drug or anything. It's just pure serotonin, endorphin, whatever, dopamine, all of it. It's everything.
That's awesome. Wow. Like I just visualize that myself. I'm like, and that petrifies me, you know? Like,
yeah, I think when you're being judged is different. I think it is different. If you're just there performing, it's one thing, but there is that added layer of adrenaline, and it's more of a nerve. There is a nervousness, there is a calming that you need to do in your head. And I've been working on that for years, and I'll tell you, I don't have that perfectly yet in a competition mode, but if you can quiet yourself to the reason that you're doing it, you'll go a long way to resolving the stress, the nervousness of being judged.
Very, very good. That's a good tip, and we're going to ask you for some more later on.
Okay.
But okay, so tell me about a time, because obviously we're very competitive people, and but we don't always win, right? So tell me about a time that you didn't win, and how did you react? How did you feel? What was going on in your head?
First of all, I will tell anybody that, what is it? Wayne Gretzky said you miss 100% of the shots you never take. And so, and Michael Jordan, I think he had the highest completions or 3-pointers or something. At some point in time, he had a record. But he said, yeah, but you don't talk about all the ones I missed. To get to that completion and to get to that level of winning, I had to accumulate a lot of losses. I had to accumulate a lot of tries that didn't go so well. So that would be my first piece of advice. And that sometimes it's advice to myself. Like, you're not going to win everyone. The thing about competitive singing is it is not like a marathon. We can't all see who crosses the finish line first, because it's subjective. It isn't like we got 2 hours and 30 minutes, or in my case, it'd be like 7 hours to cross the finish line. But so we all bring in our own preconceived notions into that, and it's so losing. And I think the losses on our national level are probably harder than the regional ones, because you only got 2 people watching you, and it's your loved ones, and who cares. But if it's a national level, you feel like a lot of people are watching you, and you feel like you have to be gracious. But yeah, I go back to my hotel room and I sulk, and I take it personally. I think all of us will take it personally for a while, because what we're doing is something very personal. If I'm running a marathon, that's not personal. Everybody's running a marathon, different styles or whatever, but it's not personal. When you're singing, you're expressing something personal, and somebody's judging as to whether they like that enough to say it's the best in their minds, and that's in their minds. So I sulk. I probably spend a good 2 days just being in my feelings. I don't feel like going and whooping it up with other people. I'm happy for the other people, but I'm going to bring the group down. So I just kind of hang out by myself, and then I pick myself up, and you try and learn whatever lessons there are from it. And sometimes there aren't a ton of lessons learned. It's the judge wanted to see something that day that wasn't you. No matter how well you executed the song, how well you thought you brought it, whatever it was, sometimes we have to remember it's a matter of opinion.
Again, another really, really good tip. I like that. And you know what I'm really loving is, Beth, you're being super duper honest, and you're being real right now. Like, these are actual legitimate feelings that people go through. And I'm really happy that you're letting us know that, yes, you, even as a world champ, you've felt that, you've done that, you've been there. And I really, really like that. 'Cause I've been there. I've sold.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't show that I'm sulking. I have a nice, game face on and everything. But yeah, I mean, when things quiet down, that's when I really go over what happened. And yeah, sometimes there really isn't a lesson. Sometimes it's just
Yeah.
you didn't win.
Yeah.
So you did win. You did. And I want to know how you prepare. I'm pretty sure the viewers want to know too. How do you prepare for a competition? You can pick one
I
competition to speak on how
Yeah.
you prepare for it, or you can generalize it. It's up to you.
Probably generalize because I go through the same process. First of all, something to know about me, I'm one of those annoying kids in grade school. If they said, here's a homework assignment, you need to have it done by next Friday, I would pump it out like in the next day or so just to have it off my plate. I'm not one of those who says, okay, it's due next Friday and I think I need 24 hours to do it, so I'll start it on Thursday. I'm not that kind. I am not that at all. So I do like to prepare because I like to take as much of the things in my control that I can do off the plate and then just let the other factors weigh in, because I think it's just more stressful if you put more pressure on yourself by being late or rushing into something. So what I do is I will look at the competition. I need to understand all in. If I make it all the way to the end, how many songs do I have to have ready? Do they have to be unique from each other, or can I reuse things that are in early and just re-record them, or if it's in person, re-sing them? What does the judging look like? What is how many judges are there? What is their scoring system? Even though that's not going to necessarily do anything. And have there been competitions of this sort before, so you can kind of go back and see if there's any sort of pattern as to what they're looking for. I would say Talent Quest, and I haven't been there in many years, so if somebody's been there more recently than me, you can correct me. But I remember there being a big, one of their brands was big on showmanship. That was a very big part of it. Where I would say in some of the other competitions, less so. It was more packaged somewhat differently, and you would see what kinds of things. Also, I have to really, I do have a coach. I do take stock in when I choose songs, and I want to make sure it kind of fits in my lane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go too far outside of it because we all have strengths. I'm not going to go against I'm not going to do soul against a soul singer, because I can do soul okay, but a soul singer can do soul better. But I can do a big Celine Dion, and in
Mm-hmm.
original key, like I can kill that crap. So, I'll go to things where I'm strong, or I've got a very high belt. What are
Mm-hmm.
things that can showcase that, or showcase my particular strengths, and not stray far outside of what I think what my brand is? Because it's nice to show variety, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but if the variety is not what you're good at, then don't do it, for crying out loud. So
Yeah.
pick the songs, work them up. And then after working them up, I never look at lyrics. I don't have a very big setup. Like, I record with my phone and another phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all I do. I don't have any microphones. I got nothing here. I'm low tech. So I memorize it from the start. I've never looked at, I'll listen to the recorded version well, in the car, whatever, and then I'll just try it. I never look at words. When I compete, I never look at words. I have never looked at a single word when I've competed, because it's very hard to get away from that once you start looking. But after I work up the songs, I will get an opinion, typically from a coach, to go, is this right? Does it need some tweaking? Are my dynamics kind of screwy? Am I not feeling it enough? Am I not there with it emotionally?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I throw out songs at that point and go, yeah, I can't get me into that song. It's a great song, but it's not for me because I can't feel it. And I think people that can get that. And then the day of the competition, I do vocal exercises, drink tea, whatever. And then I just try and be quiet. And the last couple years, in-person competitions, I made a lot of eye contact with the audience because I could feel them there with me, and that actually calmed me down rather than scaring me. That actually took my nerves down a notch when I could look at somebody that I knew in the audience and smile at them, and they're always willing to smile back at you or give you a thumbs up or whatever. So that's how I do it. But
little like,
hey, holla, yeah, throw a shoe, whatever, yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's basic stuff. There's nothing super fancy. I just work at it a lot and listen to myself record.
No, it's really nice to see what kind of, preparation you do. Not everyone prepares. So it was interesting to hear how someone who is highly competitive prepares for a competition. So with your icing title, did you have any kind of strategy going into the competition that you did maybe differently, or did you go in just as you usually do?
Well, what was unusual is that I went to Sweden. I had 2 days off, and then I flew to Vegas for WKT. So I actually had to prep for 2, and I got second that year in the in-person. So 2019 was like a big year, and then everything fell apart. And I got horribly sick the last day of WKT. So it was just, it was a hoot. And I'm sure it was from the travel and everything.
I think I heard about that too.
Sorry. I sung through it, but I just laid in bed all day. So I actually had to prepare for 2 competitions, and I had to have them both ready before I got on the plane. So I had to decide which songs I was going to do in both, if I was going to do different ones. And then I would look at the criteria. How many do you cut from each one? And that would kind of dictate, are you doing your most bestest song first, or when are you saving it? So I think it was a similar preparation, but I knew that second round was in native language. And so I did put a different qualifier on it that said, what is a really American female song? Like something that just rings American. And I chose Alone by Heart, and it went over extremely well. Rock is, I do rock. Yeah. I do this song with the band. And I'm like, oh, it's sung a lot at competitions, but I'm like, but not in the second round of an international competition where you have to sing your native language. And I'm one of only 2 people singing in English. So I thought, okay, it felt appropriate to bring that song and put it in there because of what I knew was surrounding it. So it was slightly different, but not a lot. And then getting sleep and figuring out my accommodations and getting back and forth to the venue and understanding the value of a kroner and all of that, was probably good as well.
You guys, if you get a chance, please go. If it's her song, I think it was your final song. They were having some tech issues.
But that was so funny.
Listen, even with all of that, watch the video. She's on YouTube. Okay, so just type in Beth Brennan icing. She's on YouTube. There is a video of her actually dealing with the tech issue that's happening and trying to entertain the audience in the meantime while they're trying to figure it out. And I'll tell you what, if you think she's funny here, you should hear her on that video. She's, oh my God. I was laughing so hard because I'm like, my goodness, she is so quick-witted. I love this so much so. But I do want to show how, this is Beth. When you were talking about Never Enough, it's funny because that's the video that we're going to show. And I believe this is for WKT.
In 2019,
so. Yeah, in 2019. I follow a lot of y'all, okay? So just saying, okay? I do follow you. So I want to go ahead and show our viewers this video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and then we're going to come back and do the second half of this interview, okay? Enjoy. Here's Beth Brennan singing Never Enough.
Hello?
I'm trying to hold my breath, let it stay this way.
I was feeling, I'm like, oh man, that felt like so long ago.
You know, and that is insane that you just came off of winning a world championships to go to another competition like back to back like that, and slaying the vocals the way that you just did. Like, I have to say, I've heard you sing this song before, and I think that was probably the most epic I've ever heard you sing. Like, in like, you just took it to like a whole nother level, you know, the HNL, the whole nother level. Okay, like just out there. And I was like, wow. I mean, you guys, that power that she's bringing, I mean, it's so just beautiful vibrato, that sustain, the support that she's giving. I mean, that's years and years of her working on her craft that is culminating into that performance. And you looked fantastic. I love that outfit, by the way.
Me too. Yes, I love that one too.
I'm like, I want that so much. I'm like, I want one just to have it in my closet, just to be like, whenever I want to come out looking sassy, that's what I want to do. But I do want to talk about I want to pick your brain a little bit. So what do you think about, like, even with this performance, like, what do you think about before, like, just before and when you are on the stage competing?
That's changed over the years. I will say now, before that particular song, where I was in my headspace, I had been laying in bed most of the day. I had been sick. I remember Josh was living there, and I called him and I said, do you have any of that Chinese goop? Remember that Chinese goop? Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, I need that, like, bad. And then I was in the shower just steaming and steaming and steaming all day. I didn't talk. I didn't speak. I laid in bed until I had to get ready. And so I was nervous. There was a lot of pressure, but I'm like, you know what? You just have to put it in perspective. I'm like, girl, you came from Sweden. You came home. I had a gig. I actually had a gig that Saturday night. So I came home on a Thursday or Friday. I had a gig on Saturday, got on a plane on Sunday to come to Vegas. And I'm like, you know, you got this far, so you might as well just go for it. And so the moments before, I remembered what the song was about. And the thing that I was telling you before is that's what that song represents to me, is that the moment when that hushed moment, as the sound guy says, you're live and the lights go on and there are these thousands of people there. And that's what I'm singing to. It's never enough. Like, this feeling is, so I just said, think about the song, just think about the song. And that kind of centered me in that moment when everything was kind of going wrong at the last minute.
It's really hard to imagine that you not feeling well can put out such an epic performance like that. I would have never known that you were sick. Really.
It surprised me as well, because I wasn't talking during the day, and I just had enough. Like, if I had to do an entire show that night, I couldn't have. There's no way.
Oh,
but
wow.
One or
but
two
like
songs.
The one song, sure. I'm going to slay it out and just give 100%.
You just put it all into that song and just try your best. And yeah, if I cracked or if I did something, I won't lie, I would have gone back to my hotel room and I would have cried.
I think we're our own worst critics. So yeah, we know when we mess up, you know, it's like, I mean, I felt that too. I remember feeling that way in 2014 when I won KWC USA, and I didn't know that I had won yet. I had just sung my final song, and I remember going out to the patio and just crying because I thought I had totally I botched it up so bad, and I was not going, and I was so sad, and then they announced me as the winner, and it was like the biggest shock of my life. Like, I was like, what? So, we are our own worst critics, but I think that's also what helps to kind of keep us driven and honing our craft even further, because we don't want that feeling. We don't like that feeling. We want to know that we're prepared, and we know that once we get on stage, we're just going to slay it, and that's it. That's it.
Well,
That's
and
what you're
I
gonna
think
get.
that's why you can get so upset too when you go, but this is the best time I've ever done that song. And can't everybody see how amazing that was? Like I hit everything on just like that, and the feeling and all of it was there. And how could so the opposite can be true as where you go,
Yeah.
oh my God, I just muffed that thing so bad. This is never going to happen. But you just don't know sometimes how it's being received. Sometimes there are moments sometimes where you're like, oh man, I got this. But there are times where you're just like, because there are these humans behind the table with their pens and
Yeah.
whatever.
And it feels very subjective. Yeah.
It is subjective. Even if there's criteria, it's subjective.
It
If I wore a
is.
purple dress and somebody's ex wore purple all the time and they hate purple, even though they say purple has nothing to do with it.
No purple.
It's still in there, right? It's still
Right.
the preconceived notion is in there. If somebody just
Yes.
goes, I hate Celine Dion, I hate all of Celine Dion's catalog, and they can say, no, I can be objective. It's just like if you're on a jury, you are going to bring in your prejudices, just like all of us bring in our prejudices when we're watching our fellow competitors compete or when we're choosing our own songs or anything. We bring those with us, and we can't help it. We just can't help it. So.
Yep. I agree. So with that being said,
Yeah.
what makes you feel like what do you feel makes you stand out from other competitors? And this is not to brag or anything. This is just how you feel. Like what makes you stand out from everybody else?
I'm really funny.
You are.
Aside from that,
I'm like literally tearing up because I'm afraid like my lashes are gonna start falling off because I'm like tearing up. I am cracking up so much right now.
I know what my strengths are and I know what my weaknesses are. My strengths is that I can push a lot of sound out of this little body. I can push a lot of sound out of this little body and for long periods of time.
Yes.
And I've got a good range and a good range in a before I have to hit my break. So I try and pick things that feed to that. I like to entertain. I enjoy the stage. So I'm hoping, there are some competitors who like competing, but they don't like being on stage or interacting with that energy there. And I genuinely enjoy entertaining. I don't know if that makes me different though, because I think a lot of people who are called to the competition do that, but
that's not the case, actually, surprisingly enough. I do not like being on stage.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, I really don't.
Okay.
And people would be like, well, we can't tell that you don't like being on stage. I'm like, no, really, it petrifies me. I'm an introvert, so it really petrifies me to be like spotlighted like that. But I have to like, that's when I bring out like my alter ego to like come and take over because I as Miriam Kim will not be able to perform very well on stage because I will like panic. But there are born entertainers, people who thrive on a stage. And I agree. You are an absolute natural on stage. Like you were born to just live on the stage, just performing. And that's like your dream.
Yeah, it is.
I love
you can
it.
tell. I love it.
You can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell.
I love the shit out of it. And I get to wear pretty things.
Yeah. Who doesn't like wearing pretty things?
Everybody likes wearing pretty things.
So you're just a natural on stage, and that really does help with performance and with vocals because, as you and I both know, tension is a vocalist's worst enemy. So if you're really nervous, your body just tenses up naturally, and then you wonder why you can't eke out a sound, and that's because you've tensed up. So you gotta relax. Okay.
Here's the other thing. You do have to, especially for women, whatever you're wearing in a competition, practice in it. Because if it's tight in your midsection, near your chest, you have to be able to breathe in that. And so if you normally wear Spanx, when you're on that stage, you better put that Spanx on when you're practicing. You better put those heels on when you're practicing because you're moving air differently when you're on your tippy toes versus when you're sitting on your heels. Right?
Another good tip, and I'm like over here like there's a segment for that, but we'll recap. It's fine. Okay, we'll recap. let's go through this real quick. What do you like and what do you dislike about karaoke competitions and why? Go.
I love the camaraderie. I love the challenge of a competition. I love friggin' winning. Let's just be real. What I hate is I hate being the last finalist being called. Oh, we have 10 finalists. Number 9 is Carl Smith. And you're just sitting back going, oh, sweet baby Jesus. And or not being called it up. But if you're the last one called, I think that adds more tension than if you were the first finalist being called, because at least you go, okay, I'm in the finals. Yep, I can sit here and mentally prepare. So I hate that. People get, the other thing I hate, and every karaoke performer knows this, people get super emotional at competitions. I am no different. We all get super emotional. I try my best not to take it out on my fellow competitor, but people invariably do, and it can be a very I think people really need to, yes, Miriam and I talk about, I'm going to go sulk in my room. Go sulk in your room, but don't ruin somebody else, don't yuck somebody else's yum by, saying, I didn't win. Because you know what you do when you're standing there and going, I should have won and all that, you're telling the person that did win that they shouldn't have. That's what you're telling them. And if you really feel that way, or if you feel you should have won, go to your room and think about it on your own. But don't spread the negative, and I'm not asking people to not be emotional, because this is a very emotional, I'll say business, but competing is very emotional and very personal. So I don't begrudge anybody feeling their feelings, but don't drag other people into this negativity spiral and have these conspiracy theories about God knows what in public. Right.
Don't yuck the yum.
Don't yuck the yum.
Yeah. I love it. That's a new phrase. Put on a t-shirt. Yeah, I agree with you on that. And for everybody, there's certain, likes and dislikes that they have. And I like the point that you brought across. It's what seems to look like poor sportsmanship. I think that's what it is. And yeah, don't do it. I mean, I've had that happen to me, and it's not a good feeling. Like, I remember winning a local bar competition, but it was for like $3,000, and it was like 10 weeks long. And I remember enjoying my win for about 5 minutes before hearing the yuck. And I went home crying.
Yeah.
What should have been a really elated feeling. And then I saw that happen to a fellow competitor. And it was just not a good look. And I felt really bad for that particular competitor when she won. And I made extra sure that she got the biggest hug from me and the biggest congrats, because I was not about to let her leave that stage feeling like she might not have earned it. So, I mean, I came in second. So again, missing it by a margin. Yes, I did not win. So yes, I'm dealing with my own internal turmoil here. But at the same time, it's good to just be happy for the person who did. Go to your room and sulk. Go yuck in your room.
Go yuck in your room. We're not saying don't yuck at all, because feelings are feelings, right?
Yuck it up in the room.
Yuck it up in your room, in private, because you have to feel your feelings to get over them and move on.
Exactly.
So that's all I got.
Have you ever experienced burnout during a competition season?
Yes.
And why? So if you did, why did you feel that?
Actually, very recently I did. I think in November I did. And I think it's a bizarre combination of pandemic, work, and then the can I just say I hate making videos, and here's why. Here's why videos are bad. Because you can exhaust yourself by doing a million takes. And in a live competition, you got that moment to make it happen. You prep, you got that moment, that one moment to make it happen. So I think we can drive ourselves crazy. I can drive myself crazy by doing that video over and over and over and over again. And I think video, because you have the opportunity to do over, that that video competitions in themselves, just how they're arranged, because they are video competitions that you're submitting, lend themselves to burnout because of that.
Ah, that's a really interesting point that you have. Yeah, I mean, I do remember doing, 17 takes of I Surrender for the WKT World Championships and getting really frustrated because I'm like, this is like take number 15 and I'm tired.
I would actually prefer if they would say, okay, these are your finalists or whatever. Maybe this is a note to somebody for a future competition. If you want to commandeer a future competition, is to just say, these are the people, and you've got this time slot, just like in The Voice or whatever. Like, you've got this time slot and you go live and you do it live. It's a video. You do it live from your house, but you're doing it live. So you've got that added sort of excitement of this is a live take, and you only got one time to do it, and it gives it more close. It more closely represents a real live competition, even though we're relegated to our homes. I think that would be really cool.
That's a really. We're gonna take note of that.
Okay. I just thought of that now. Like, I didn't know this before until you asked the question.
Yes, see, because these are great questions.
These are great questions. Yeah.
I'm just saying,
I would actually sign up for something like that, because I'm like, that gives it that little extra oomph where if I put pressure on myself, I've got to make the perfect take of I Surrender, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm going to bust my butt for like 3 weeks and do 15, 17 takes until I got that one. And then it just kind of takes some of the fun out of it, right?
Oh, for sure. And yeah, I mean, I've experienced burnout too. So I was curious if you did too, being so competitive, what did you do when that burnout happened?
I just stopped. I stopped with all of it. There were other competitions and there were other things, even like videos saying, hey, come and do the Christmas thing. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not being a bad sport, but I'm just like burned out of just doing karaoke kind of stuff. And I kind of, Minnesota was closed down from November 20th to January 10th. So no bands or anything either until that opened back up. And so when it opened back up, I went back and did live performance. We've had 4 shows since January 10th, and now started to kind of refresh myself and like, okay, you know what? I think I'm getting my juju back. And I think just honestly, time off is just the best thing that you can do. You just stop for a while.
Yeah. That's why I go into retirement and then something pulls me back out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I'm retired. It's like, they're like, no, you're not. You're not retired. So in my my show last week, I said that I have a complicated relationship with
competitions. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would call mine complicated as well. Love, hate.
Yeah. So what is the most memorable moment in your competition career other than winning your title? It could be the smallest thing.
Ooh, memorable moment.
It could be a funny moment. It could be a bad moment. Whatever is most memorable other than winning.
As you were talking about the iSing 2019 thing, and I was telling my friend as I was getting on stage, I said, now anything can happen. And usually does. And all of a sudden they have this major thing where they can't find the song. And they've already introduced me. I'm on this catwalk thing. It's like a T-shaped thing. So I'm at the end of the thing and I'm like, all right. So I just started talking. And not only that, but I accidentally shut the mic off for a hot second. You can barely tell it, but I shut it off and I went, oh, turned it back on. I don't think the judges noticed it, but that's one of the things where you just want to throw the mic on the stage and go, I quit. But you know, I'm done. So that was really memorable because I wanted to impress upon the Swedish people that I took time to learn some of the language, and I talked about words and phrases that I learned in Sweden and whatever. So that was fun. I think the other most memorable thing, and she was adorable, she got into the finals and she sang Stone Cold by Demi Lovato, and she was from India, young, very good voice, kind of like a little bit like there was still some refinement to be done, but she was really, really good instrument. And she forgot the words. And she went completely blank.
Oh no.
And the entire audience stood there for a second, and a couple people were clapping like, come on. And they let her restart it. They did let her restart the song. And we were all like clapping because I'm like, yeah, please let her restart it, because I'm just embarrassed. You know, I feel for her. I'm feeling just really angsty for her. It happened again. She restarted the song. She got about, now she's got a case of what they call in golfers the yips, right? You're so in your head that you cannot get out. And she completely lost it. And she was a very good singer and a good, I knew she was going to be in the finals. I'm like, oh yeah, she can be in the finals. And she just said, I'm sorry, I can't finish. And I've never seen this in like the finals of a world competition. And so we're all stunned, and she got off the stage, and her best friend was there with her, a fellow competitor, took her to a corner, and she was just bawling her eyes out, just bawling. And I felt so awful. And my friend said, are you going to go over there? And I said, no, that's just the worst thing right now. Like, she needs to be with the people she's with. I can say something later, but like, she needs to be in this, and she can't escape. Like, she would physically have to leave the venue. It wasn't like attached to a hotel. It was down the street.
Oh.
It was horrifying. I mean, everybody was so good to her. So I hope she has good memories of that. But it was just a horrifying moment for every competitor going, that could be me, right? That could be, it can happen to any of us. It can happen. Anything can happen to anyone. And just thank the good Lord that you got through your song, or that you're there to do it, or whatever. But it was a terrifying moment. It was very memorable, but very terrifying.
Wow. Were the words not there, or is it
no, yeah. And that was the other thing in this competition. You don't find out until you got there. The words aren't supplied at all.
Oh, so you really have to know your song.
And I didn't know until I got there, which was fine, because that's how I learned stuff anyway. Like, I don't even look at anything. And I think she was expecting something, so I'm sure she was cramming for it. But, you know, as you know, in professional karaoke competitions, you should be doc stuff if you're constantly looking at words.
Anything can happen. You know, I've seen competitions where the screen was up and then the graphics just glitched out and the TV just shuts off. And it's like, shoot. Okay, I don't have words. And it's like, well, realistically, if you've been prepping, you shouldn't need them.
Shouldn't need them. Shouldn't need them. If you're gonna tell your story, send your message to the audience, you're not doing it by looking at the words.
Yeah, you can't connect with the audience. You can't connect with the judges if you're focused on words. So that's news to me. So I'm glad for those of you who are interested in doing icing, just memorize your songs and know them like the back of your hand. Okay, that's good information. That's like kind of like an insider tidbit, you know. That's cool. Let's see. Here we go. What tips do you have for up-and-coming competitors who are new to the competition circuit?
Memorize your songs. Pick songs. I don't want to say that are out. I understand who you are as a singer. I think up and coming, you may not know who you are yet. So I think watching a lot of videos of yourself, getting some professional coaching like yourself, kind of figure out who you are as a singer. You're not everybody. You're going to have a niche, a specialty, one or two things that you do really, really well. And you're going to want to be the best at those things and stick to songs that bring that out in you. But it may take time. It takes years sometimes to figure out who you are as a singer.
True. Very, very true. And those are good tips. And you guys need to watch, if you're just popping in, y'all need to watch the rest of the show, because she has tips like interspersed in between. So those are big tips. So now we know you're working with Sugar Buzz. So we're getting away from the competition for a second. We know you're working with Sugar Buzz. Are there any like current projects regarding your music? That we get to get a little bit of
Yes. So last summer, I got a call from a guy who produces local shows, and he saw both my karaoke work as well as the band work, and he wants to put together a show that for the first hour is me doing that kind of music, karaoke kind of music, the Celine Dion's. He wants me. He's got a couple songs that he wants me to add to to the curriculum, then we would take a break, and then I would come out with a full band for another hour. And so because of the pandemic, it's probably, if we can get a room of 250, probably be sometime in August. But it's actually he's producing a show that's me. It's so crazy. But in suburban Minneapolis area, probably out at Hastings, for those Minnesotans who know where that is, at the Hastings Performing Arts Center. So we're going to do something like that probably this summer. And I was going to say no at first, because I'm like, wow, that sounds like a lot of work, because he was going to have some video stuff and whatever. And I thought, Beth, do you know how many people spend their entire lives waiting for a phone call like that, even if it's just a regional, local thing, to go, hey, I would love to do a song or a show based on the two things that you're the best at in singing, and it's going to be about you. So I'm excited about that, to get that together. That's my big one.
I'm stoked for you.
Get
I knew you would have something, because you always have something going on. She always has projects. Honestly, you guys check her out. Do you have a music page that you have for Facebook?
I do have Sugar Buzz has a Facebook page. We got about 3,600 followers, so we got a pretty good following.
Get it going.
And then we all get sugarbuzz.com as our website. We got videos and stuff up. We have a video out there that's up to 27,000 views, so we're pretty excited about it on our Facebook page. So it's resonating with people, apparently, so that's nice.
Let's make her band go viral, you guys.
Yeah.
Let's make her band go viral, because they are honestly some stellar musicians, number one, and number two, led by the beautiful and talented Miss Beth Brennan. So y'all just go check out Sugar Buzz on Facebook. Go to their website, sugarbuzz.com.
And sugarbuzz.com.
Yes, there we go.
Sugar Buzz. Yep.
Yes. So you want to do that, okay? Last question.
Yes.
Are there any people that you want to give shout outs to at this moment? This is like your Academy Award. This is your Oscars,
Yeah. I want to say hi to all of the
way.
band if they're watching. Hi to all my karaoke friends in Minnesota, Team Minnesota. You know who you are, with Miko and Sarah and Jesse and AJ and Alex and all those folks from Team Minnesota. And my mom, I'm sure I'll eventually show this to her. And just anybody who's ever said anything nice about my singing, thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. And you said you had a vocal coach that you wanted to,
Sure. It's Katie Power. And I know that you all vocal coaches sort of talk to each other and hang together. But
I had Miko on here a couple weeks back, and I was like, you could. It's fine. We're non-discriminatory here. This is
it's Katie Power. So I know she has a Facebook page, and I don't know her website off the top of my head, but I've been with her for a few years, and I do recommend coaching, because people will see things in you that you are too far in your head to see yourself. So I do recommend coaching from whomever you get it from. Coaching is good.
Exactly. And look at us, like we're champions here, and we go and get coached.
Yes.
I have my own coach, and I coach others, and I've helped to develop karaoke champions, some of whom I've already interviewed in past episodes. So you can go check out those episodes as well. And I am taking on new students to help them out with this season's competition. Or this competition season. I'm all backed up. But again, get yourself a coach. If you're being serious about competing, get yourself a coach. I mean, trying to go into this blind is not necessarily a good thing. Make sure you get a coach who understands competition and how competitions work, so that they can help you strategize and do that. So if you do not have a coach, again, you can reach out to any vocal coach recommendations that you're getting from friends.
Over there.
And then you got me here at Go for the Gold Vocal Academy, because I will help you develop your skills and everything. We talk about vocal We enhance your vocal prowess. Obviously, that's key. But we also help you with stage presence, your artistry, your outfits for competition, because that's very important, and strategy. Song strategy is a key thing for me. I have been called the guru of song strategy. So if you need assistance, please do not hesitate to message me. You can email at goforthegoldvc@gmail.com, or you can reach out to me at Facebook or Instagram. Again, at the very beginning, you saw what my tag was. So Go for the Gold VC is the tag. So yes, but I want to thank you, Beth, so much for taking time out. I know you have an open mic that you need to get to.
Yes, I'm going to hustle to that. Yes.
Yes, but I really appreciate you. Have fun at your open mic. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Miriam. This was a blast.
I'm still cracking out. I'm gonna rewatch this and I'm gonna just bust up laughing yet again. You are so much fun. I'm so glad I got a chance to get to know you and get inside your head. I appreciate you. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.